So, as I've kind of hinted at already, patient groups can play a really crucial role in drug repurposing, essentially because it's a space in which they can begin to play given the resources they have available to them and the lower threshold of entry into repurposing. The reason you want patient groups there, though, is because they provide the drive and the impetus to pursue a solution in challenging R&D projects. It's the patient group that understands the need of people living with a rare condition, and they actually understand the impact that research can have. Due to this, they're driven to ensure something positive gets done. And dependent upon the size and knowledge of that patient group, they can actually have a real impact in that drug repurposing space. Some groups are going to act to encourage researchers to begin researching and investigate repurposing projects in general, and just that initial trigger can really change the landscape of research itself. Other groups will actually get more involved and find ways to support in trial design or trial recruitment to actually ensure that the research gets done to a standard that's required. But there are examples of patient groups out there who can really involve throughout the whole process, and they're able to drive the research field of their rare condition from nothing to a situation where a trial can happen. And this can actually help to bring multiple different players, researchers and industry bodies into the space and actually ultimately drive a repurposing project to fruition. So really, patient groups have that potential to be an active and engaged partner in any drug development, but particularly repurposing, from the design of the research through to its final approval. Yeah, absolutely. And this is an example that sits in that patient research space, the example of Alkaptonuria and the repurposing of the drug called Nitisinone, which is a story that's gone right from start to inception. So Alkaptonuria is otherwise known as black bone disease, and it's an ultra-rare condition affecting about 1 in a quarter of a million people. It's an inherited genetic condition, and essentially it causes a build-up of an acid in the body, and this acid attacks the bones and cartilages. It turns them black, but it also degrades them and leads to an early form of osteoarthritis. Now, in Alkaptonuria, there's a really clear metabolic pathway that goes wrong. Essentially, one enzyme is mutated, which stops the breakdown of an acid called homogentic acid. And it was clear to the AKU Society, who did a lot of this work, that there was a drug out there that could stop the buildup of homogentic acid on that metabolic pathway, and that was Nitisinone. If you stop that buildup, you therefore effectively should stop the symptoms of Alkaptonuria. And this was a very simple therapeutic route for them to pursue. Now, the AKU Society in the UK knew there'd been a failed trial of this drug in the US, but they also knew that that trial failed because of the endpoint selection. The trial tried to test whether there could be an improvement in the range of motion of a single joint in the body, whereas Alkaptonuria affected the whole body. What the AKU Society decided to do was pursue this idea further. They conducted the first autopsy in an Alkaptonuria patient to better understand the condition and the extent of its impacts. They developed an Alkaptonuria mouse model for testing drugs. They developed an AKU severity score to act as an endpoint in clinical trials that would better assess the whole holistic impact of the condition on the body. They then secured a specialist centre for Alkaptonuria within the UK and prescribed Nitisinone off-label to those patients, helping to run an ongoing open-label study of the drug in the condition. All of this work meant they were able to build a united, multifaceted consortium, including industry and CROs, to seek funding from the European Union to run a full clinical trial of Nitisinone in Alkaptonuria. They managed to secure that funding to deliver a phase 2 and phase 3 clinical trial, and actually assessed the condition in over 140 Alkaptonuria patients, which is really impressive given the disease's rarity. Overall, the trial was completed, I think in 2020, and it reached all of its endpoints. It actually showed a marginal improvement in the range of movement and the overall Alkaptonuria symptoms, when in fact they were really expecting the disease to be halted after treatment with Nitisinone. And thanks to their work, the drug has now been improved by the EMA for treatment of Alkaptonuria and is widely available in the UK and in Europe. Which is a hugely impressive achievement. And the AKU story really shows us that patient groups have the potential to lead the field in rare disease research, and that repurposing has a real potential to transform the lives of untreated rare disease patients.